completely empty.
Yep.
But Barnsley fans making themselves heard over there.
And we finally have kick-off as the clock ticks to 12:30. I think the refs got somewhere to be this afternoon. So eager to get on with things. Ball kicked out of play for a throw-in here. Thanks for your company this afternoon. Hope you've had a good start to the new year. And new year means third round of the FA Cup. See if Barnsley can join Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday and Chesterfield, who drew with West Brom in the hat for the fourth round draw. Bit of a battle in midfield here as teams scrapping around trying to get hold of it. Eventually a free kick will go the way of Barnsley. It's just inside the Derby half on the right hand side. This one's chipped over towards the left and controlled by Nicky Cadden. Nicky Cadden's ball down the left hand side to Herbie Kane. Kane by that left corner flag. Great pass inside. Great run from Liam Kitchen, the captain. He plays it across goal. Cut out by Derby County. Out for a throw-in, but what a good run that was from Kitchen there, up from the back, Derek, to get into a strong position.
Yeah, it was a good move by Barnsley, wasn't it? Kane and Cadden involved. Kitchen getting almost into the penalty area there. Just couldn't find one of his strikers with the ball into the box, but really good start from the Reds.
Going to have a throw-in, which is going to be a long throw, which Edwards will take. He's just drying the ball on a towel. The rain has pretty much stopped. It was a short, sharp blast of rain as the throw comes into the box, flicked into the air towards Kitching, but the Derby defenders are allowed to just usher that one behind for a goal kick. So it will be Derby ball, and it will be Joe Wildsmith who goes and gets the ball from the ball boy. Could be a long day for that ball boy with that empty stand behind Joe Wildsmith's goal. A lot of running in store for him. The stand across from us on the far side is full, and then you've got the Barnsley fans in the corner and the Derby fans behind the goal. The stand that we're in is empty, and the Reds are kicking from right to left in this first half, as that looked like it may have been a foul on James Norwood, but the ref says he went down a little bit too easily there. The referee is Sonny Gill, as this one is given away by Barnsley. Straight to the number 18, Dobbin. Dobbin on loan here at Derby will go on a bit of a run. Holds the ball up, cuts inside. Good anticipation from Herbie Kane, though, to win that one back. And now here's Devontae Cole, stretching his legs down that left-hand side for the first time this afternoon. He's got a lovely overlap here from Nicky Cadden. Cadden into a great position, tries to play it across the face of goal. Cut out, but behind for a Barnsley corner, Derek Parker.
Well, it was a good counter-attack, wasn't it, as Derby tried to make their way towards the Barnsley goal. Herbie Kane did well, got possession. Cadden just couldn't find that ball into the box to find a striker, but we have got the corner. Connell will take it. It's been a lively start, which is what we were talking about just before the game, hoping that both teams will go for it.
Barnsley fans let out a rendition of "Come On You Reds." 3 minutes in, here comes the corner from Connell. Connell, it's in towards the goal, well saved by Wildsmith, and then at the far post it couldn't be tapped home by the Reds. There was a header, I think, from Edwards towards goal, which was kept out by Wildsmith. It looked as if the player at the far post might be able to tap it home. Not quite sure. Didn't get a great angle of that from where we're sat as to what happened there. Did you get a better view than me, Derek?
Not really, no. So at the corner, Edwards got to the near post, got the glancing header. I have to say, the goalkeeper made a great save. Was it Jordan Williams who just couldn't make contact from the goalkeeper parrying it out? But the Derby defence was static, wasn't it, when the corner came in, and the Reds almost a goal up.
Yeah, free kick has been given to Barnsley deep inside their own half. It was a good save from Wildsmith, but I'd love to see a replay of what happened at the far post as to whether or not a defender got in there or what, because it looked as if the Reds player was going to tap home for 1-0, but this has been a great start from Barnsley. Attacking again down that right-hand side, persevering, but a block tackle comes in from a Derby defender to win it back. Kicked over halfway, and Robbie Cundy will leave this one for Jack Walton, who kicks forward in his yellow strip up towards James Norwood, who flicks this one on, but can only flick it straight on to Joe Wildsmith, the Derby keeper. Chip forward, given straight to Jordan Williams. Williams in towards Connell in midfield. Back to Williams again. Now into the Barnsley back three. Here's Edwards. Gets the return past as Edwards inside his own half. Derby press, so Edwards chips it forward up towards Devontae Cole. Cashin will head clear. He can only head clear as far as Wolf, who's taken a boot to the face there from Louis Sibley, and that's going to be a free kick to Barnsley inside Derby's half. I'd say it's probably about midway inside that Derby half on the right hand side.
I think Wolf has just maybe took a blow to the face there as he challenged for that ball. But there's a sense of urgency about the Barnsley side, isn't there? As soon as Derby get possession, they're closing them down quickly, they're getting tackles in. Wolf getting his head in there to gain that free kick. The Derby player just a little bit high as he tried to win it. I think we'll get Herbie Kane playing this into or lifting it into just short of the penalty area where everybody's crowded there.
Here comes the free kick then. It's going to be Kane who whips it in. Flick towards goal by Norwood, but into the hands of Joe Wildsmith at the left-hand side of his goal. It was a comfortable save in the end, but Barnsley asking a few questions. They've got the bit between the teeth here as that pass is intercepted by Jordan Williams for Barnsley inside his own half. Finds Kitching, his ball into the midfield. Barnsley playing some lovely football here, finding Edwards over on that right-hand side. Edwards will march over halfway and then lift it, looking for the run of Wolf, but it's headed away by Derby, picked up by Sibley. Backwards now into the Derby defence, and they're just going to take the time here and have a bit of the possession, because Barnsley have had the much better start here. 6 minutes in, but still 0-0 in the FA Cup third round. Now here's Rooney. He goes back to the goalkeeper again. They've not opened this stand or the stand to our left, but they've somehow managed to get the drum in on our right-hand side, which is making the most noise at the moment, as this one's booted forward by Edwards over halfway. Headed down by a Derby player, straight to Herbie Kane. Kane finds the run of Cadden, left-hand side. Here come the Reds again. Cadden nips inside, tries a nutmeg, but it comes off the defender and then ricochets straight back to him. Now he's going to curl one, just wide. Great hit from Nicky Cadden. And for a minute there, Derek Parker, as it spun towards the bottom left corner, I thought it was going to creep in.
Yeah, it wasn't far away, was it? Good run from Cadden, coming in on his... Looked as if he was going to line a shot with his left foot and switched it to his right, curled it, only a yard wide of that far post. It's all Barnsley at the moment, completely dominating the home side.
Can they get that opening goal to confirm what has been a fantastic start from the Reds? So close there. Thought he forced one good save from Joe Wildsmith as well. Barnsley fans will be enjoying what they're seeing over in that corner, the opposite end of the ground, as this one's headed down here by Cundy. Derby pick it up. It's hit the back of the heel of the referee, but Derby retain the ball, so the ref waves play on. Goes back into the defence. Derby will try and build as they come up towards halfway now. Chip forward, but that's going to be an easy headed clearance for Liam Kitchen. Kept in by the Derby 34, Jake Rooney. He plays this one backwards. Michael Duff clapping his hands there, pleased with what he's seeing. A little bit of anxiety in the Derby technical area where Richie Barker and Paul Warner stood, as this is a bit better from Derby, but then a tackle comes in. Barnsley will win it back, and then that looked like it was a foul, and it was. And the referee gives the free kick to Barnsley. Derby player has tapped the ball into the goal, but the whistle had already been blown a few seconds before that. So it'll be a Barnsley free kick, right-hand side, inside their own half. BBC Radio Sheffield, 0-0 here. And it will be Jack Walton who comes forward to take this one. They stagger the FA Cup games these days, so there's a few fixtures taking place in the afternoon. We've got Bristol City against Swansea, which also kicked off at the same time as this game. That's 0-0. And then you have a whole bunch of 2 o'clock games, then a couple of 4:30 games. Don't really understand the idea with that, but they've done it for a few years. As this one's headed forward, flicked away by Derby, brought down here by James Collins, the big number 9. He's going to lose possession initially, but then get it back. And then there's a foul by Jordan Williams, and this time it'll be a Derby free kick. I'd say about 10 to 15 yards inside the Barnsley half on the left-hand side. Derby trying to get a foothold in the game here. They take the free kick quickly. Barnsley have to switch on as the cross comes in. It's not a bad delivery. Headed into the air by Kitching, the captain, and then he blasts it away, clearing his own header up towards the halfway line. Herbie Kane will nudge this one down. Jordan Williams looks for the run of Norwood, and it's going to run away from him and go straight into the defence here for Joe Wildsmith. Liam Kitchen just looks like a different player this season, Derek. I mean, he's getting forward, he's all action at the back. It's looking terrific.
Well, he's totally committed in every game, isn't he? And certainly likes a scrap, if you want to put it that way. He doesn't mind getting stuck in with, in that position and towards the centre of the defence. And the only thing I would say is sometimes he gets forward into brilliant positions and his distribution lets him down a bit. But I think if he had that distribution, he'd be in a higher league. But I think he does a really good job for Barnsley and gives them that bit of aggression at the back.
Yeah, while we were talking about him, he had a couple of clearances again as Derby just try and get this one forward. Brought down by Rooney on halfway. On the right-hand side, he plays it inside to Max Bird, the Derby captain. Bird's pass over to the left. Controlled by Sibley. Down the line to Barkhuizen. Looks for the run down that left flank of Sibley again, but well read there by Cundy. And Cundy will kick that one clear. It comes off the Derby man. Out of play for a throw-in. Some of those other FA Cup games, you've got a real mix today. You've got the one hand, Stockport against Walsall, and then you've got Manchester City against Chelsea. You've got Villa against Stevenage. Cardiff Leeds could be a tasty one at 2 o'clock. Barnsley hoping to get through to that fourth round draw. It's always kind of interesting, these third, fourth round draws, when you're wondering what is it going to be, a chance to progress against a team that you feel is beatable. Is it going to be a top Premier League team? Barnsley have had some famous days in this competition, looking to make the fourth round for the fourth year in a row, which is no mean feat. Seen some incredible stats around this game as this one's moved in towards Kitchen. Kitchen will clear long. It's a good ball, it's a good looking ball, which is going to find Nicky Cadden in space here, deep inside the Barnsley half. He gets his cross in, he's won a corner, Derek.
Well, that was definitely one of the better balls we see from Kitchen, and the speed of Jordan Williams got him on the end of it. Cross in was blocked. We have the corner. Pace of the game, I think, or the passing pace of the game has just slowed down a touch over the last few minutes. But Barnsley's still looking comfortable.
12 minutes gone. Here is the corner for the Reds, 0-0 so far. Corner swept in. It's a poor corner, but it's worked its way right across the penalty area. It was a low skidding one that was mishit. Somehow it missed everybody and just ran over towards this near side. Derby keep it in and then will play a long ball. Headed clear by Barnsley. That's well read by Jordan Williams. Now Kane. Kane gets the return and will move this across over towards number 3, Edwards. Williams and Edwards involved once more as this one's clipped over towards the left, controlled by Cadden. Cadden back to Kitchen. There's a little 1-2 with Devontae Cole. Now up towards Norwood, but he's lost out there. A bit of a slip from Cadden. Derby will have it at the back. So the big stat, this has been doing the rounds on social media, Derek. The only previous FA Cup tie between Derby and Barnsley was in January 1897.
I remember it well. Yeah.
So does Andy Giddens. Derby won 8-1, so they've had to wait a bit of time, Barnsley, to get a bit of revenge for that. But apparently, that game, which was 125 years and 343 days ago, is the biggest gap between a meeting between two teams in the FA Cup that had existed until that point. So
well, great stats there, Rob. Yeah.
We really should have tried
I'd love to watch highlights of the game.
To see if there's any 126-year-olds who happened to be there as a youngster. They won't have remembered much of the game, though. Lovely 1-2 in the midfield here between Cole and Wolf. And then Wolf tries to play it on for Devontae Cole. He can't quite get there. Moment has gone. It goes back towards Joe Wildsmith, the keeper. Derby have it again. Derby fans trying to generate a bit of atmosphere here as the ball is over the top. The flag has gone up. It's a bit of a late flag. Ball bounces into the stand that we're sat in, which is empty. Photographer has not been able to throw the ball back to the ball boy, so he's going to have to race over and get it. So it's going to be a long day for the ball boys in this stand and over on the far side. It's a good job they get these youngsters to do it instead of people like you and I, Derek. We've been waiting a long time.
Well, these youngsters love it, don't they? Get a chance to watch the game from close quarters and even get to...
I was a ball boy once at Millmore, But Rotherham United, you were desperate to get a touch of the ball. You wanted it to come over to you so you could throw it back in or whatever. We were told you're not allowed to kick it, but you must not kick it at all costs. Here is Cadden. Cadden over to the left. Will take on his man, drive towards the penalty area. Tries to play it inside, but it's come off the shins of Derby man. Cleared down the line. Now to play for a throw-in. It'll be a Barnsley throw. In a good position. Chance maybe for another, just a little too far out for long throw, it seems that it is. Kitchen will go across and take it. Left-hand side. I think it was mentioned in the pace, just slowing slightly here as Kitchen will have a couple of options. He's going to throw it to the edge of the box in Norwood, who can't hold it up. Michael Duff a bit frustrated there that Barnsley had squandered that territory as Derby clear. Headed clear by Robbie Cundy, that's good defending. Kane gets a nudge on this, finds Norwood, back to Kane. Lifted over the top towards Cole. Cole tries to keep it in that attacking area, but Derby win it back. Up towards halfway, Kitchen's header into midfield. Here's Kane. Kane back to Edwards. Edwards puts his foot on the ball. Has a look, sees what options he's got. Got a man over on that right-hand side. Williams has passed, looking for Wolf. He will just hold on to it here, try and get round his man. He wins a throw-in. In a decent position for Barnsley here. He will keep that pressure on.
Good to see Wolf getting more involved, Rob, as well. In these early stages of this game, he's been on the ball, made a few tackles, getting himself involved. He's been out, he hasn't been in the side all too frequently in recent months, but looking to establish himself there, and just hoping he can push on at the moment. He's doing a good job in the midfield there.
Comes a long throw from that right-hand side. It's a good one in towards Kitchen and Cundy. Derby just about scramble it away. They're just going to boot it out of play for a throw-in on the opposite side of the pitch, so still inside the Derby half. Midway inside that half on the left, which Cadden will take. Short to Kitchen. Cadden again. Cadden didn't see anything on, so he has to go all the way back to the keeper Walton. Cundy. Connell. Walton. Shipped nicely over towards Cadden. Cadden controls. Cadden's passed down the line anyway. Well in that one, Derek, and it's given Kitchen no chance of collecting that behind for a goal kick, and it remains 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, the ball from Cadden. He had time actually to, to keep possession, take it further forward. He went for the pass, which was way over hit there. There was no way we could get on the end of that. But Barnsley's still looking comfortable. I'm not sure what the possession stats are, but very much in Barnsley's favour, I would say. You're going to have a look and tell me there now.
Before I do that, I'll tell you that Swansea have taken the lead at Bristol City in the all-championship clash in the FA Cup. So Barnsley have had 58% of the ball, Derek.
Yeah, actually it seems like more than that, but I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I'm impressed with the way they've started the game, Barnsley. Just need to be perhaps a little bit more precise with the balls into the strikers when they've got good possession, but they're winning it back from Derby very quickly. And Kane in midfield, Connell, Wolf, as I've just said as well, getting very much involved.
Ball's going to go out of play here for a Derby throw. The afternoon has brightened up now. It was very dark about half an hour ago. Heavens opened. Now it's quite pleasant actually. Floodlights still on here at Pride Park. This one's going to be thrown in from this right-hand side by Rooney. Rooney throws it down. Tries to get the return as the Derby player fell over as he was sliding to the turf. Jason Knight managed to keep it in and win a throw-in. Off a Barnsley defender on this occasion though, kind of getting each other's way, the two Derby players, and it goes out for a Barnsley throw-in on this near side. Richie Barker, the Derby assistant boss, helping out the ball boy there, going and getting the ball. Michael Duff looking on with his hands in his pockets. He'll be happy with what he's seen from his team, but we'll be hoping they can make the most of that. Go and get a goal here as Norwood flicks it on towards Cole. Tackle comes in from Hourahan. Cole has stayed down, but he's back on his feet now. Ball kicked over towards that left-hand side. Collected by Derby. In towards Hourihane again. Now moved over towards the right, and Rooney finds Dobbin. Dobbin back into his own half here, and Forsyth, who will try and chip that one over towards that left-hand side. No pressure from Wolf. He's fouled his man. Needless that, really. I don't think the Derby player was going anywhere there. That'll be frustrating. Derby and the Barnsley fans having a bit of fun between themselves. Have heard a bit of chanting of Yorkshire, and Derbyshire getting a mention too. They're having plenty of fun between themselves. They're sat next to each other, the Barnes and the Derby fans behind that goal. Barnsley fans in the corner. Derby yet to have a shot on goal. Barnsley have had 3. They've forced a save. They've seen another effort go just wide. Derby have got it in midfield as the game really is slowing down a lot more now. As Derby maybe try and get a bit of control going here as this one's played down the line. Comes off Cadden. Now to play for a throw-in. It's going to be Rooney to take it. Rooney throws it backwards here. And Forsyth just takes the easy option, goes all the way back to Wildsmith in goal. Now it's back at Wildsmith again, and it really is slowing down now, Derek. Derby are the ones who are slowing it down, and I think Barnsley are kind of caught a little bit between how much do you want to go and press high and maybe get caught yourselves, or what? Or do you want to let Derby just dictate the tempo here? Here come the Rams on the left. It's going to be chipped into the box, but cleared away by Edwards. Now moved over towards the right. Dobbin drills in his cross, and it's come off the Barnsley defender and then back off Dobbin, and out to play for a throw-in.
Yeah, well, after 22 minutes there, that's Derby's first passing and movement that we've really seen, where they've managed to string 6 or 7 passes together. Didn't really go anywhere with it. Finally did get into the Barnsley half, and the move broke down there. But yeah, as you just said there, from the first, going back to the first 5 minutes or so, the game slowed down a bit. Barnsley have had most of the possession, but Derby just starting to play their way back into the game a bit without threatening the Barnsley goal so far.
So it was like Derby had such a bad start in terms of having none of the ball and anything like that. They've just resorted to having it in safe areas now, trying to build something a little bit. And we're seeing that, a lot of passes at the back, a lot of passes back to the keeper. Here's Rooney. So he's going to go backwards here and just keep the ball rather than lose it. It's back in the defence, and Cole will have to press, and now it's moved over towards the left. Good run by Sibley. Now Collins slides in, getting the 2 number 9s mixed up. Derby on the left-hand side will get a cross in here. It's clipped towards Dobbin, and I think it's come off the crossbar. It has. It was not a keeper's touch, it was the bar, says the referee. And behind for a goal kick, but
I can see the Derby players crowding around the referee. Walton did get a touch. You could see that quite clearly from here. I think the ball was going over the bar anyway, Rob, but Walton helped it on its way. They're still having a go at him. Derby players, the referees having none of it. Walton's just going to take his time here to retrieve the ball. Probably been the best spell in this first half, these last few minutes for Derby. More possession, actually getting into attacking or threatening attacking positions. But yeah, I think the Derby players had a point there. Walton definitely got a touch as the ball went over the bar.
First real threat, good cross. Dobbin's header. He left his head, he feared for Barnsley that it may just find its way into the roof of the net, but kept out. Goal kick taken, but immediately Derby have it again deep inside their own half, and Barnes have just got to get back on the ball here. Slip down the line towards Barkhuizen. Ball into the penalty area. Here's a run. Appeals for a penalty as Sibley went down, but ref waves it off. And now Herbie Kane will try and drive Barnsley forward on the counter. Kane holds on to it, needs support. Clips this one backwards to Cundy. Cundy to Edwards. Williams. Now Wolf in midfield. Just turns, goes back into the defence, and Edwards. Connell. Edwards again. Edwards back to Robbie Cundy. Cundy's long pass forward over the head of Cole. And when they play it long, it's just not sticking today for Barnsley.
A bit better service, but also maybe a bit more application from Devante Cole there to win the header. You can't get perfect service all of the time into the strikers.
So Michael Duff was quite animated there as another long pass just goes straight to Derby, and they'll just let the Rams have the ball in this area and then try and pick the way through, as they did with that cross a moment ago. Spread over to the left here. Now a long pass looking for the Barkisen, who's going to get there ahead of Edwards. Tries to hold it up. Edwards has recovered well though. Toe pokes it away. Collins slides in, gets a tackle in. Now to play for a throw-in. We've had 26 minutes here. BBC Radio Sheffield. FA Cup third round. Derby 0, Reds 0. Still that drum bangs to our right-hand side as this one's thrown forward, headed down by Derby. Barnsley will try and win it back here. Kane was on the ball, but it's good play there from the Derby man Rooney, who drove, got it back, and then he was fouled. And it's a yellow card, Derek Parker, for Luca Connell. Thoughts on that? Not entirely sure that warranted a yellow. What do you think, Derek?
I think it was a bit harsh, I have to say. Took the quick free kick there, Derby, but they've certainly come more into it now, the home side.
There's a cross from Dobbin, out of play for a throw. To me, a yellow card is, if you do that again, you will be sent off. And that, to me, just looked like a bog standard foul. You just do in a game that hasn't had any angst to it. Why are you getting a yellow card out there? Now there's a lot of argument because I don't think the assistant had any idea which way to give that throw in. He's given it the way of Derby, much to the delight of the Derby fans and much to the anguish of the Barnsley players. Not a great 30 seconds here for the officials. Rooney throws this one backwards in towards Forsyth. He's forced back by Cole, then he turns in towards Knight. He finds the captain Bird, who's going to hit that one completely wrong. Smash it behind for a goal kick. No danger there at all to Jack Walton.
Yeah, completely agree with you there, Rob, about the yellow card for Connell. You know, he's gone for the ball. Certainly not a malicious tackle, not over robust, and just a foul, so to book him just puts that bit more pressure on him now when he's making other challenges.
It just seems, sometimes I think you feel like referees have to get involved sometimes, and you don't know why. You know, make your life easier for yourself. Maybe they feel under a bit of pressure because there's somebody watching them, reviewing their performance, and they don't want to miss anything. But I would always think you'd be better off just letting things fly a little bit more than feeling like you've got to get the card out all the time. In a game that has barely had a bad tackle in it at all, and then you go and get the yellow card out 26 minutes in because of something like that. It did not warrant a yellow card, as this one is played inside, cut out by Barnsley, who are struggling to get on the ball at the minute. Here is a Bird, clipped over towards the left, closed down by Williams. Derby have to go back into the defence. Now it's pumped long, and pumped too long. It's gone well over the head of Dobbin. Into the stand that we're sat. Ball bounces down, and Kitchen will take this throw for Barnsley, wearing number 5. William Kitchen dries the ball on his shirt, throws it in. That's a good throw in towards Norwood. He flicks it on, but all Norwood can do is flick it out of play for a throw-in. So we had a bright start in the first half from Barnsley. Attacked and created chances, and it looked exciting. Now we've seen Derby really slow things down. Game has really petered out as a consequence. Has helped Derby to just re-establish some control though, and they've had a header tipped over the bar. Now here's Cadden winning it back for the Reds. Cadden holds the ball up. Connell up towards Cole, left flank. What can Devante Cole do here? Tries to get into the box, but he just trips over the ball. Defender dispossesses him, and it goes all the way back into the back three again for Derby, who will take their time, nudge it over towards that left-hand side. Here come the Rams once more in their white shirts, black shorts, black socks. Ball played in low to Barkisen, appeals for offside, not given. Now Bird. Ball's going to be slipped inside to Barkeeson again. And now Bird once more. Bird backwards to Cashin. Now Forsyth. Derby just knocking it around like a training session at the moment. Well, until it was given away, and then Barnsley say, well, hold my beer, we'll give it away in an equally poor fashion. Here is Dobbin on the right-hand side. Ball crossed into the near post from Rooney. Wasn't a bad idea, but a bit too close to the keeper. Walton gathers it, rolls it out quickly. Barnsley will try and counter. Here's Kane. Kane sweeps a great ball in towards Norwood. Norwood will chest this one down, edge of the box. He's only got Cole in the middle. Tries to play it in towards Devontae Cole. But a cut out Derek and a throw on the far side.
Yeah, it was a great ball from Herbie Kane, wasn't it? The run from Norwood out to the right there. You know, had the Derby defenders chasing back to try and get some numbers back in defence, but couldn't quite get possession or, you know, fashion a chance for Devontae Cole, who was getting into the penalty area. But yeah, the game it's different now. It looks a bit more cagey. I think at the start of the match, Barnsley were really going for it, closing down so quickly, not allowing Derby any time at all on the ball.
Ball thrown in. Here's Norwood's shot, and it's blocked by a Derby defender. I think it was blocked. It may just have been mishit. I'm not sure. There were a few sort of mock cheers from the Derby fans, which made me think that maybe he just mishit that one. I'm not sure. Maybe it was blocked. Either way, it was half a sniff there at goal for Barnsley. They've not had one of those for a while. It just opened up from that long throw, didn't it, Derek?
Yeah, as you say, I'd like another look at it to just see what happened. Look as though Norwood was going to get a clear shot at goal.
Cadden has just watched this one out of play on this near side for a Barnsley goal kick. So Derby 0, Barnsley 0. We've had 32 minutes. And game that hasn't been full of action since that bright start from Barnsley. The possession has completely changed now. Derby have had 54% of the ball to Barnsley's 46. Still Bristol City 0, Swansea 1 in the other lunchtime kick-off in the FA Cup. Walton's kick straight out of play for a throw-in on halfway. Much to the joy of those Derby fans behind the goal. Throw taken short by Rooney. Now Forsyth. Forsyth will spread this one over towards the left, controlled here by Cashin. Down towards that left flank for Derby, and they go on a bit of a run and then given away straight to Tom Edwards. Cole tries to find Wolf, but he loses out, moved into midfield. Here come Derby. It's with Dobbin. Dobbin, who's come closest for the Rams with a header. Has just stumbled on the ball there, and in many ways that attempted trick kind of sums up the last 10 minutes.
Well, it was good defending there as well from Cadden. You know, didn't allow Dobbin to get any kind of room to get the cross in that he was looking to do, and stuck with him. Ended up knocking the ball out himself, Dobbin, and giving Barnsley the chance to just relax, and Walton will take the goal kick.
Got a short option, Barnsley. They've got two players stood either side of the 6-yard box, as is the fashionable thing to do these days, and they are indeed going to take it short to Kitchen, who's then going to just hit it long anyway. Not a bad pass, and I thought Barnsley were going to win a throw in there. Looks as if Williams headed it against Louis Sibley, but the ref says no and has given the throw in the way of Derby. Wildsmith. Now we have it at the back. Kane's going to try and press here. Cadden also trying to get involved. Long kick forward now by Derby. Looking for the run of Dobbin, but straight out of play for a throw-in. Football Heaven, BBC Radio Sheffield. Give us a call tomorrow between 6 and 7. Give us your thoughts on the FA Cup weekend. The number you'll need, 0800 111 49 49. That's 0800 111 49 49. Talk to us about that. Talk to us about the transfer window. Anything you want to get into. Kitchen heads this one into the air. Flicked into the air again by Luca Connell. scrappy and everyone's scrambling around for the ball there. A Derby player goes down, and it was Knight. The referee initially didn't give the free kick, but then changed his mind, I think maybe off the instruction of the assistant, and has given the free kick, Derek.
Well, it looked as if he changed his mind on the roar from the crowd. It looked as if he was just going to let play go on. It was a bit scrappy. There was a few players bumping into each other, wasn't there? There was nothing malicious going on, though. And, yeah, the linesman raised the flag, but I felt play should have gone on. Continued. Probably because Barnsley had possession.
Well, I don't know, he just seemed to... Initially, his body language was very much, I am not giving this. And then he just changed very sharply and opted to give it. I'm never quite sure these days whether... As the assistant doesn't tend to put the flag up, he just tends to say in the ref's ear, that's a foul. Either way, it is a free kick to Derby, which is lifted in. Walton comes, had to get there once you've come, and he did. And he punched it clear. Now to play for a throw-in over on that far side. Derby fans make some noise here as we have got 9 minutes to go until half-time. It's kicked into the box, hammered away by Cadden. Now to play for a throw-in. Hourahan. Thrown inside. Collected by Knight. Hourahan. Forsyth. Back over to the left, and Louis Sibley. Sibley plays a nice 1-2 with Marquise and then loses the ball, forgets to take it with him. Barnsley will have it back inside their own half. Edwards. Edwards has ball into midfield, given away. Hourahan will get there. But then as it was chipped in, it's come off the heel of Kane, deflected kindly into the path of Bird. And now Dobbin. Dobbin right hand side, moves it back into the middle. Eventually the cross comes in, it's not a bad delivery from Rooney. Cleared to the edge of the box, shot comes in, and Max Bird has completely mishit that one, just looped it up into the air. And a comfortable save for Walton. Walton's long kick looking for Norwood. Norwood gets his body in the way, almost deflected it into the path of Devontae Cole, but the defender gets there. Knocks that one back to Wildsmith, the keeper. Ball chipped forward, headed away by Kitching. Now Hourahan, it's done well. That's a big round of applause from Paul Warren for that little move there. That's a lovely little back heel from Collins. Finds Knight, his crossing cut out by Tom Edwards. That'll play for a throw-in, Derek.
Well, Derby certainly, calling the shots at the moment. Much more possession. Game being played in Barnsley's half. Barnsley defending okay so far. Yeah, Derby have stepped it up from what we saw in the first 10 minutes of the game. They're dominating at the moment. We just can't get service into Cole or Norwood up front, midfield. Herbie Kane so much involved in those first 10 minutes. Hasn't had a kick now for the last 10 minutes. So Barnsley need to re-establish themselves.
They've got to throw in here because Derby keep trying this pass over towards this near side. They've obviously spotted something there, but every time they try and play it, they overhit it and it goes out for a throw. And just as I said that, Barnsley said, oh, we'll have a bit of that as well. And they've hit it over towards the opposite side of the pitch. And that's gone straight out to play.
Well, and Kitchen struck it so well, and I think he's having a go there at Jordan Williams, expecting him in that wing-back position to get motoring on and to anticipate it. So it doesn't look as though it's something that they've actually worked on in training, because Williams wasn't going forward at all.
Ball backwards by Forsyth here to the keeper. Derby keeper hits it long. Headed away by Cundy. It's managed to find Williams. Williams carries the ball into place in the right side, then clips it in towards Cole. Flag has gone up against Devontae Cole. Restart taken short, and yeah, not been an action-packed first half. Just little flashes from both teams. A game that perhaps needs a goal to get things going again, preferably from a Barnsley point of view. Cole will just close down here. This ball's chipped long, controlled by Edwards. Now Wolf, and Barnsley give it away. Play for a throw-in. Michael Duff looked very frustrated there as Barnsley gave it away. And sat down in the dugout with an anguished look on his face. Derby knocking it around at the back again. Norwood tries to press. Cole will press high as well in the penalty area. Derby just play around it, and here's Bird. Bird plays a 1-2. Now Barkeys, and this is good football from Derby. 5 minutes to go until the break. They go on the outside, cross comes in, it's deflected, and it has gone behind for a corner. There's a Barnsley man down as well. Tom Edwards is down and looks to be in some pain there. Derek Parker, did you see what happened to him?
Didn't quite catch what happened to Edwards there. Good move from Derby. Yeah, the Derby players are signalling for the trainer to come on. He does look in some kind of distress, as Edwards.
Yeah, he looks in real distress there, and you can see Conor Hourihane and Tom Barkeys calling for the physio.
Yeah, they're
to come
calling
on
for more than
the one physio.
Yeah,
which makes you wonder what
possibly calling for a stretcher. Yeah, they're sort of.
They're now saying, "Come on, hurry up, get on there." There's a real concern because he's gone down, and he was waving, so he was conscious because he was sort of saying, "I need help."
Yeah, this looks pretty serious, doesn't it? The Derby players have recognised it.
I don't know why the Derby physios haven't gone on. They were calling for help, and all hands on deck, I think, in that situation. I don't know why they haven't gone on.
Well, there's a stretcher on its way as well now.
Well, it took an age for them to get the man with the defibrillator on, just in case, and I'm not sure whether is that a necessary piece of equipment in this instance, because he does seem to be conscious. I just wonder if has he dislocated a shoulder or something with the way he's sat. Derek, he's down, and he's sort of landed very awkwardly.
He's on his side, isn't he? And
he hasn't
knees
moved
bent
at all.
Oh, yeah, hardly moving.
Which makes me wonder whether it could be back, neck, shoulder.
Yeah, they're rolling him onto his back now, but yeah, this is not looking good at all.
It's hard to see exactly what they're working on here. I wonder if it is the leg after all, maybe, because he's got his head in his hands and the stretcher is out, and it looks as if it's going to be required. So this is not good to see. So Barnsley with a man down, and we'll see what change they're going to have to make here. It's being arranged down on the pitch side. So the substitute getting the tracksuit off. I can tell you that Edwards is now sat up, which I suppose is good news. It's still unclear what exactly he's injured. You can see that they're kind of like holding his arms out aloft, which makes you wonder if it could sort of be something to do with back or shoulder or something, because they're trying to get him on his feet. And would they do that if it was a serious leg injury? Probably not. I'm not sure though, because maybe they're just going to get him on the shoulders there and help him off, and he's going to limp off. So yeah, that is what is going to happen here. So now I'm wondering if he's turned an ankle or something there, Derek, because he seems to be favouring his right leg.
Yeah. Just looking who is going to replace Edwards.
It's going to be Josh Benson who's coming on. So all the Barnsley players had like a time-out there where they all ran over to the manager and had some instructions. Now they all run back on for this corner, which is going to be taken. So we'll see how they rework things here, with Benson coming on for the defender Edwards. But I'm afraid to say that Tom Edwards is limping heavily, and I think they are going to have to put him on the stretcher here. It's right behind the goal as this corner's about to be taken. Here comes the cross, flicked on, and that was a chance. In fact, the ref's given a penalty for a handball. He's seen something, the referee, and he's pointed to the spot. The Derby fans appealed for it, and Barnsley players can't believe it. But a penalty has been given there. The referee was well positioned. Oh, I didn't get a great view of it myself.
I didn't get a view of it. Devante Cole and James Norwood protesting strongly with the referee. He's having none of it though. The kick will be taken, and just as he's placing the ball, just coming in front of us, around to where we are, Tom Edwards looks in agony, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does not look comfortable. It is his right leg. It looks like ankle, I would suggest. He's having to rest again here, but while all that's going on, it's getting worse for Barnsley. They've lost Edwards to a nasty looking injury, and now they've conceded a penalty. So Derby with a chance to take the lead. It will be Walton with the opportunity to keep it at 0-0 as we head into 4 minutes of stoppage time. Referee blows his whistle. Here comes the penalty, and Walton is sent the wrong way, and Derby County have the lead. It is the number 9, James Collins, who takes it and dispatches it, and the Reds are behind here. They lose Edwards to injury, and now a goal behind. Derby 1, Barnsley 0.
Well, I'd like to see the replay, Rob, and just see what the referee gave the penalty for. We think handball, but wasn't something that I saw in the packed penalty area as it was. But double whammy blow for Barnsley. Edwards with what looks like a serious injury.
Michael Duff's asking the players. He's asked Norwood and Cadden what was it given for, and now Michael Duff, and they all did the same thing, which was he put his arm in the air. Both the players put their right arms in the air and tried to explain what the penalty was given for. Then Michael Duff was looking up at someone in the stands, and he was also putting the arm in the air. So it's obviously a handball, but I don't know. I mean, it was an arm raised as they were jumping, and it's been headed onto the arm. I mean, I must admit, Derek, I thought I knew the handball rule about 6 years ago, but then
it's very
much over the years.
Clear and obvious handballs. It certainly wasn't clear and obvious to us. We've got a really good view across the penalty area here, but the Derby players appealed. The referee gave it fairly quickly. I mean, you'd have to say that Derby, over the last 10 or 15 minutes, have been in control of this game, but haven't opened up Barnsley in a way, that's been creating chances for themselves.
I'm afraid.
What a time for it to
it's insult to injury, isn't it? And Tom Edwards is now heading down the tunnel in real pain.
I can't understand why he's limping off and being held. He should be on a stretcher.
He's had to stop 4 times to take a breather. He should have been on the stretcher, you're right. And eventually we'll head down to the tunnel. Ball into the box here for Barnsley. Norwood goes down. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty there, but never likely to be given, as the two players clashed and the defender and the striker ran into each other. Both went down. So Barnsley behind, 1-0 on BBC Radio Sheffield. James Collins with the penalty. Barnsley will have to come from behind here to try and get into the hat for round 4. As the ball is lifted up towards Cole. Had such a bright start in this half, Barnsley, but it's petered out. Now here come Derby looking for a second before the break. Held up by Collins. Got about a minute of the 4 to go as this one's crossed in, headed away by Barnsley. Now Bird urged to shoot, instead he passes it across to Hourahan. Now the cross comes back in, and Dobbins' header, and this one wide, and no threat to Walton's goal.
I think Barnsley will be wanting the half-time whistle to blow as fast as possible. They need to regroup. Michael Duff needs to get them reorganised. They started so well, but they've petered out. Derby have got, they're dominating the game now. Got so much possession. But I have to say, I would like to see the penalty incident again. There's the half-time whistle.
Just to let you know that Jordan Williams dropped into the back 3 and Benson played as a wing-back at the end of that first half, but disappointing conclusion to a half that for the most part was mainly uneventful. A good start from Barnsley. Wildsmith was forced into a save from a header, I think, from Edwards. Couldn't tap it in at the far post. We saw a good effort as well from Cadden that went just wide. At the other end, a save from Walton to deny Lewis Dobbin with a header. Then right before half-time, Tom Edwards, really unfortunate, seems to have, I don't know, maybe jumped and landed awkwardly on an ankle or something that's led to him coming off. And as he was being helped off the pitch and behind the goal and back towards the tunnel, the corner came in, which led to the handball. Penalty awarded by the referee, dispatched by James Collins, hitting it down the middle. And it means it is 1-0 to Derby at half-time. So, and Barnsley still very much in the game. But I think you're right, Derek. Half-time at a good time for the Reds. They need to get in there and regroup now, don't they?
Yeah, without a doubt. Because, as I say, the last 15, 20 minutes of that half, Derby had so much possession, weren't creating brilliant chances, but having been battered by Barnsley in the first 10 or 15 minutes, they had managed to get a foothold in the game, Derby, and so they were taking the game to the Reds, but without causing us any real problems. And then we got the injury to Edwards, and then the corner which followed from that, and we've yet to sort of see clear cut, obviously a handball somewhere. The referee gave it pretty quickly, but they just lost their way as the half wore on, and Derby grew into it. I mean, they looked all at sea the first 10 or 15 minutes, the home side. So Barnsley, Michael Duff's, his team talk at half-time is going to be very important.
Work to do for Barnsley then in the second half here on BBC Radio Sheffield. Derek Parker with us on Football Heaven at the break. It is Derby 1, Barnsley 0.
Sport Heaven and BBC Introducing present A Night with Reverend.
There is a lot of crossover between our fans and Sheffield Wednesday fans, so it's a big part of my life, it really is.
I'm Adam Oxley and I'll be teaming up with Christian Carlisle to talk all things football and music with Reverend and the Makers frontman John McClaw.
I did have a brief flirtation in my formative years at Everton because my granddad's brother played for him, but realistically it's always going to be Wednesday.
Reverend Heaven.
My nan danced with the players in the 30s. She was a wag before wags were a thing.
Tuesday nights from 6.
Having players and manager into music, what a buzz.
On BBC Radio Sheffield.
So yes, Reverend Heaven, make sure you tune in for that one on Tuesday evening from 6. Joseph Hadfield here to take you through half-time. It is 1-0 to Derby against Barnsley in the third round of the FA Cup. We'll be back to Rob and Derek for second half commentary very shortly. Just to update you on how things are going in the Women's FA Cup, Sheffield United women, they're currently 0-0 at Glanford Park in Scunthorpe. They're taking on Nottingham Forest, and a glamorous tie against Manchester City in the fourth round if Sheffield United women can get past Forest this afternoon. Just to let you know, in the third round of the Men's FA Cup, Swansea City lead Bristol City at half-time, 1-0, a goal midway through the first half. There, right. Before we get into the second half, let's turn our attentions to basketball, because the Sheffield Sharks have announced the signing of shooting guard Deverl Ramsey. The American joins the Sharks from Stockton Kings. They play in the NBA G League. Now, we had Mike Tuck and head coach Atiba Lyons on Sport Heaven the other night. Here's what Ramsey will bring to his new side, according to his boss.
Deverl Ramsey is a very exciting player. Really happy to have him come on board. Someone I looked at in the summertime in recruitment, but kind of went in a little bit different direction. He's played at a high level. He's come out of a good Division I school where he was one of the key components to making it far in the postseason. And he's more of a very fast, electric kind of player, explosive speed. More of a kind of set up the plays and instrumental of kind of conducting the offense, but also can score the ball. So I think it's a component we've kind of been missing. Hopefully to make other players around us kind of improve their game a little bit. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Atiba, how do you go about bringing players in, when you're sort of scouting these players? How do you sort of uncover the signings that you want to make? What is that process like when you're bringing players into Sheffield?
Well, it's a few different ways. A lot of times, you have the agent route when you have a network of people you speak to that are in America predominantly, and they have their different clients, and you speak to them and you watch film and you speak to coaches and do the kind of due diligence. There's also, you go into, again, usually America, to different camps and scout players live in person where they play some games that are kind of made up just for recruitment and try to find the best talent. So it's a combination of those really.
Mike, what is it like, when players come to Sheffield for the first time, having done that yourself, what is that process like?
Yeah, I mean, it's always an exciting time because, you get a new player coming in and the guys want to see what he's like. And it's all, coming in at the beginning of the season is much different than coming in mid-season, right? So this guy's coming into a situation where a team's already established. So I guess throughout my years at the Sharks as being captain, I was always kind of took it on my shoulders to kind of integrate them and make them feel comfortable and get them in. And I think, you want them to be successful and hit the ground running. So it's all about integrating them into the systems that the club runs as quickly as possible, making sure that they know the plays. And then after that, it's about them figuring out their role within the team and the other guys' role around that player.
Atiba, obviously De Vrij has come in and a couple of players moved out in December, didn't they? Is there another player set to come in soon?
Yeah, there'll be one soon. No one kind of signed up yet, so when I do finally finalize a new player, I will release it. But yeah, there'll be one more addition.
And do you think you talked a little bit about what kind of an impact De Vrij might have? Do you think he's going to be able to really boost the team?
Yeah, I think so. We've made some changes, but kind of the core of the team that started the season and had a good run are still together. So it gives him time to kind of, like Mike said, get a feel of the team. He doesn't have it all on his shoulders to start with, but the speed he comes with and the way he plays the game should unlock a different kind of part of our team that we haven't had yet.
And what has been sort of the issues with the form recently? What has perhaps not been happening with the team which has enabled you to get the results that you're looking for?
It's been a lot of luck, really. We've had injuries. Saeed had a torn calf, and before he was injured, he was one of the top 5 leading guards in the league. And then in those kind of runs of him being out, we also had Rodney Glasgow be out because of that nasty bug that's been going around. He just couldn't move, and Kipper Nichols as well, who's a key player for us. He's been out. So we've been down 2 starters pretty much throughout this entire bad run. So the changes weren't predominantly just performance. It was just, I think we can strengthen still. I think we can still get better. And I just felt it was the best kind of move for us.
How tough is that to manage as a coach then when you've got limited numbers? When you've come back from something like an illness, you're not going to be 100% are you when you get straight back into it? And does confidence dip with the other players when results aren't going right as well, even if it is down to mostly availability?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a juggle. You got to try to find ways to keep conditioning up and replicate that game kind of feel in practice. But with the numbers down and some of the quality not being able there, it is difficult. And that kind of snowball happens when you don't get healthy or get back in time for the next game. But we've been in these positions before, and I'm confident that we'll turn it around.
And Mike, when you sort of look back on your playing days for the Sharks, what is the mentality to have as a player, do you think, when you've had a few rough results and you're trying to turn it around now?
Well, first off, I just wanted to say that we're still trying to fill another spot, and I offered up my skills to the position, but everybody laughed for some reason in the office. But no, in all seriousness, I'm looking forward to seeing who they're going to fill that final spot with. But yeah, when you go on a tough run like this, I mean, for me, it's always situational, right? And I look at this Sharks team this season, and they've pretty much had illness or injury throughout the majority of this first half of the season. I believe there's been only 2 or 3 games where we've actually been at full strength. And when we are at full strength, we're beating teams like London and Bristol, who are teams that are at the top of the table. So this bad run is obviously unfortunate. Injuries and illness happen. And I think for the guys, and definitely when I was playing and we went on bad runs, you don't look at the small picture. You look at the big picture. And yeah, maybe we lost a game or 2 or 3, but you got to look at the whole picture. So staying positive is a big thing, and keeping the guys, focused on the end goal, which is, silverware and finishing as high in the table as you can.
Because there's a lot of basketball left, isn't there, Atiba? There's a lot of the season still to go. Is there ample time to sort of get this turnaround now and achieve what you're looking to achieve this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're still right there in the mix. We've had that great run and put ourselves in a position to, not intentionally, but we've taken this knock, and we're still in a position to climb the table and be right there at the end. So, once we get healthy, like Mike said, and we kind of get that synergy back going, I'm confident we'll be in a strong position.
And the BBL Trophy's coming up. Is that a competition you can really target to try and win?
Yeah, that's one way to kind of breathe some life back in the team. Is everyone in that competition is kind of 0-0, and it's a way to kind of climb back and get that momentum and bring that into the championship competition.
So it's Football Heaven here on BBC Radio Sheffield. 1:30. It's just gone on this Sunday afternoon. Hope you're well. We are going to get back to Pride Park very shortly to bring you second half commentary of Derby County against Barnsley in the third round of the FA Cup. Just to run you through all the games that are taking place later this afternoon. Cardiff against Leeds, Hartlepool United against Stoke, Norwich against Blackburn, and Stockport County against Walsall. They're all kicking off in about half an hour's time. Aston Villa against Stevenage and Manchester City against Chelsea. The heavyweight clash, they're both getting underway at 4:30 this afternoon. The fourth round draw will take place before that Manchester City-Chelsea game, and I can give you the draw numbers for any local listeners ahead of this one. Chesterfield fans, you're in the hat after that 3-3 draw against West Bromwich Albion. You will be ball number 3. Barnsley fans, should you make it past Derby County or even draw with them, you're into the hat for the fourth round. You would be ball number 8. Sheffield United fans, after that 2-0 victory at Millwall yesterday afternoon, your ball number 27. And Sheffield Wednesday fans, after that amazing 2-1 victory at home to Premier League Newcastle United last night, your ball number 29. So those are the draw numbers ahead of this afternoon's fourth round draw. We will have all the fourth round action that does take place live here on BBC Radio Sheffield, of course. Sport Heaven is back from 6 o'clock tomorrow night, as it is every single weeknight. We'll be taking your calls as ever. We're the only place that takes your calls 6 nights a week. You can have your say on your side. 0800 111 49 49. You can text us. Text the word Sheffield at the start of your message, 81333. If you fancy WhatsApping us, you can do that. Make sure you start your WhatsApp message with the word Sheffield. That is 08000 321 333. Next weekend, Rotherham United in action at the lunchtime kickoff. Rotherham hosting Blackburn Rovers at 12:30 for that one. We'll have Wycombe Wanderers against Sheffield Wednesday on FM. We'll have updates of Sheffield United and Doncaster Rovers as well. And Barnsley make the trip down to the Valley to Charlton Athletic. That is on DAB, on digital radio, and on Freeview channel 734. And then after all that, all the action, comes your reaction in Praise or Grumble, the original football phone-in. That is from 5 until 6, and you can have your say in that 0800 111 49 49. So as I say, Sport Heaven, that's back tomorrow from 6.
BBC Radio Sheffield.
Weeknights from 6.
I'm in a very fortunate position to be able to represent GB.
Sport Heaven.
I've come over a few obstacles over the years and I'm quickly back up because I love the sport and I'm so competitive, and I'll be 80 years old and still trying to put a bat in my hand and still be trying to play.
I remember Alan Shearer touching my head and it was like the best day of my life. As footballers, we get put on a pedestal by kids, and I think we have a duty to give back.
Sport Heaven.
The problem we've had at the minute is when teams give us the ball, we haven't done enough with it, and that's the problem we're going to have to solve.
I can't complain. I think these guys are playing great, tough defence.
Any game in this league is important, and to get 3 points is good enough, but then to score and to win 8-0 and have such a great team performance was just amazing. Yeah.
Weeknights from 6.
BBC Radio Sheffield.
So we'll be back to Rob and Derek very shortly for the second half commentary. But if you were listening last night to us, you'll have heard a quite unbelievable night of action at Hillsborough.
Great turn here from George Byers. Absolutely sumptuous that from Byers, the midfielder. And now he'll move it over towards the right. Liam Palmer in towards Adeniran and shot towards goal! And it's Josh Windass who scores for Sheffield Wednesday, and Hillsborough explodes. Wednesday lead against Premier League Newcastle, and it's Josh Windass again. Wednesday 1, Newcastle 0. Here's Smith through to Windass. Can Windass get there first? He can! It's Josh Windass again!
his second of the game, as composed as you like, and Sheffield Wednesday are on the verge of knocking out Premier League Newcastle of the FA Cup here at Hillsborough. 2 for Windass, 2 for Wednesday. Owls 2, Newcastle 0.
What a game that was at Hillsborough. 2-1 it finished between Sheffield Wednesday and the third place side, Newcastle United of the Premier League. So Sheffield Wednesday through to round 4 of the FA Cup. Fingers crossed that Barnsley can overturn this 1-0 deficit and join them in the hat for the 4th round. Let's get back to Bride Park and your commentary team, Derek Parker and Rob Staten.
Thanks a lot, Joseph. Yep, teams back out here as Derby and Barnsley take the field. Derby leading 1-0 thanks to that penalty from Collins in first half stoppage time, which happened just after Tom Edwards had gone off with an injury, and people were speculating about what the injury might be in the press box, and 1 or 2 people were saying knee rather than ankle, and people have seen the replay confirm that it was handball that the penalty was given for. So we'd like to see it again, but it wasn't abundantly obvious. There were certainly appeals for handball as the cross came in, but it was hard for us to see if it was a justified decision from the referee, Sonny Gill, or not. No further changes at half-time for either side. And the one change so far with Benson, of course, coming on for Edwards. Barnsley trying to start the front foot here as they pump the ball down to the pitch on this right-hand side, immediately from the kick-off. Cross driven in here by Williams. That'll be a Barnsley throw-in. Benson takes it quickly to Williams. Benson again. Williams once more. Cuts in from the middle. Goes back to midfield. Now Connell. Connell into the defence for Cundy. Cundy finds Kitchen. Kitchen moves away from a couple of players, then slips it over towards this right-hand side. And Williams mishits it and kicks it out of play for a throw-in in front of us here. So the Derby lineups: Wildsmith in goal, Forsyth, Hourihan, Cashin, Barkeeson, Bird the captain, Collins, Sibley, Dobbin, Rooney and Knight. For Barnsley, Walton the keeper, Williams, Kitchen, Cannon, Kane, Norwood, Cundy, Wolf, Cole, Connell and Benson the substitute. Keep you posted on the other FA Cup game that is taking place at lunchtime as well, where it's still Bristol City 0, Swansea 1, as this ball goes forward from Derby, but flicked back to the keeper by Williams. So then, Derek, what do you want to see from Barnsley if they're going to turn this cup tie around?
I'd like to see them, put a few passes together as they did at the start of this match for the first 10-12 minutes of the game, when they looked as if they were carving up the Derby defence and creating chances. We had the header from Edwards at the near post, which the goalkeeper saved. They looked as if they were in full control. So, yeah, they've just got to rejuvenate themselves. I'm just looking at the system. We've got Benson now playing as a right wing back, and Jordan Williams going into the middle third, the central defensive role. But the Herbie Kane, who I thought started the game so well, and Luca Connell, again getting very much involved. We haven't seen much of them on the ball. Derby have started to dominate in the midfield and have so much possession. Devante Cole just gone down there.
Here's Norwood, moves it over towards the right-hand side. Cole stays down. Benson's cross almost deceived the keeper, who's palmed it away from the goal. Benson gets it back in again. Blocked by Bird via his chest, and then eventually cleared. Now that looked like a handball, nothing given. Williams' pass in towards Norwood. Norwood into Benson. Benson's cross to Barnsley. This is better, but the Benson cross is cut out again by Derby. And now Collins will nudge this one forward, and the counter-attack is on. It is Knight running through. He plays it up towards Dobbin. Dobbin hasn't got much support on this right-hand side. He cuts into the middle, and then he's crowded out by Barnsley players. Kitchen wins it back and gets his body in the way. That's good defending from Barnsley. And then they surrender possession a bit too easily and give it straight back to Derby on halfway. A bit more promising from the Reds, who, as Derek was mentioning, they had that really good start and then just didn't offer anything really as an attacking threat after that. As this one's kicked out of play by Derby, it's going to be a throw-in. Devante Cole is going to be booked for protesting, I think, about the fact he didn't get a free kick. We can never be quite sure what a player has said to a referee, and if he has sworn or something there, then perhaps it is a justified card. But if he hasn't sworn and he was just having a whinge, I always kind of feel, again, without wanting to pile on the referee, Derek, this kind of situation where you go, oh, get on with it.
Well, yeah, I think players are entitled to question the referee's decision. You've got to be careful what you say and how you say it and what language you use. But I remember, back in my playing days, saying to the referee, "You're having an absolute nightmare, referee." He says, "Not quite as bad as you, though, Derek."
You see, that's how it should be, isn't it? That's what it should be like. As the ball goes into midfield, ball over to the left-hand side. Here's Barkeys, and he gets into the ball and crosses it in. It's beaten everybody and gone behind for a goal kick there. Derby fans trying to make the noises. A Barnsley player down over on the
I think it's Connell.
side.
It's down over there. Is it? No, it's not.
It's Kane, I think.
Yeah.
He's just sort of feeling the right ankle there, maybe. The back of the heel. Seems to be okay.
I was going to say, just doesn't look too comfortable at the moment, but maybe just hobbling a little bit better now.
So a goal kick to the Reds, which, again, they've got the short option or the long option, and they've decided to hit this one long. Up towards Norwood. It kind of hits him on the back and ricochets away to a Derby player. Now here's Sibley. Marquesan. Sliding tackle comes in there from Matt Wolf. Kick clear down the middle here for Norwood. Norwood will give chase, and it goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. This one will be passed over towards that right-hand side. Hit in low, touched off by Knight, intercepted by Kitchen. He plays a little 1-2, gets it back, finds Norwood. Norwood's just ballooned this one up into the air, but it was actually kept in by Barnsley here, and they retained possession somehow. Kane finds a bit of support on the left. Can they dig out a cross here, Barnsley? It's good play over on that left-hand side, twisting and turning. There's Cadden. Gets his cross in though. Did all the hard work to get into the space for the cross. The cross goes behind for a goal kick and was poor.
Oh, Cadden did so well to keep possession there. Twisting and turning, then got a clear sight of some room in front of him going into the penalty area. He's just took a swing at it with his right foot and curled it out there for a goal kick to Derby. Just needed to settle down, just needed to compose himself. Could have played in Cole or even Norwood, who'd got into a good position. It's just that final ball, isn't it? Let him down.
Real shame as well, because he'd done ever so well, Ante, to sort of beat
to
two
keep
or three
possession.
Players. Get into that space, and then cross wasn't up to much. They'll get another chance here, Barnsley, attacking down that same flank. This time it's Kane who tries to play the ball in. It's blocked off by a Derby man. Derby try and work it forward. It comes off the shins of Cadden. Out to play for a throw-in. We've had 52 minutes. Derby 1, Barnsley 0. BBC Radio Sheffield. Hope you're having a good weekend. Ball thrown into the midfield. Jason Knight will then get this one over towards the left, and Derby can't keep that one in. Michael Duff goes and gets the ball so that his team can try and keep the tempo going here. Thrown short by Benson. He gets the return back from Williams. Now Connell. Cundy. Hit long by Kitchen. Looking for Norwood. Just a bit too much on it. And it runs through to the goalkeeper. Wildsmith will bowl this one out here towards Cashin. He'll move it across towards that right-hand side. Derby player jogging forward is Rooney. And rolled back here towards Cashin again. Booted forward by Derby, just aimless. And Barnsley staff like that. They like the pressing, which forced the mistake. A lot of frustration in the Derby ranks with the way that move ended there, but Barnsley maybe just getting a bit more of a foothold in possession, and just wonder if Derby now having the lead, are they going to sit back a little bit more? Is it going to be an opportunity for Barnsley to get a bit more possession here? Cashin nudges this one nicely over towards Sibley. Houriham immediately closed down, goes backwards to Forsyth. Forsyth's ball will go all the way into the Barnsley half. Booted away by Williams. Up towards Norwood. It's going to bounce over his head and look for Cole. It's unfortunately bounced over Cole's head as well. And then it goes back to Wildsmith, and neither of the front two have had much of a chance to get involved in front of goal, have they, Derek? They've not had a sniff.
No, we're not creating much for them, to seize upon. Trying to get hold of the ball. There's instances where we have a little bit of good passing between defence and midfield, but as regards getting the front lads involved, it's just not happening.
That's a good ball here to find Norwood, who holds it up. He's having his shirt pulled there by Cashin. Back to Benson. Connell switches the play nicely over towards Cadden. Left-footed delivery is a good one, headed away only as far as Benson for Barnsley. Now Connell back towards Williams' right-hand side. This is better from the Reds. Oh, just as I say that, commentator's curse. Jordan Williams gives it away as it's booted away by Derby County. Great first touch on Barkeeson, but he stumbled on the ball there, and it means that Connell can get back and play that one back to the goalkeeper. Hit clear, headed away by Cashin. Williams, Benson and Cole, and Connell again. Benson again is going to win a throw-in. Just got caught there, Benson. I think he's hunched over a little bit. We'll get an update from Michael Duff on the health of Tom Edwards after the game. Get his thoughts on Max Waters, who's the new signing as well. First chance to speak to him about that. Find out if there's anything else going on. You can find that interview online. If you Google Football Heaven, you should find the page where all of our post-match interviews and pre-match interviews are held. And also, if you follow us on Twitter at Football Heaven, you can get all your interviews there. We post all the links on that Twitter feed. Here's Barkeeson in towards Jason Knight. Good ball forward here, but the keeper's read it well. And now Barnsley can get on the front foot again. 56 gone. Derby 1, Barnsley 0. BBC Radio Sheffield's Football Heaven. Here's Norwood. Tries to get his ball inside. Cut out by Derby, and again there's just a chance of a counter-attack, but no real pace or venom to it, and Barnsley can just get numbers back and force Derby all the way back. And they can just play in their half. Derby play very similar style of football to Sheffield Wednesday. It's not particularly exciting, full-blooded, but maybe have just got a bit of quality in certain areas which make them difficult to play against. Having come down from the Championship. Some experienced players in their squad, some of which are not playing today, of course. Thanks to David McGoldrick. There's a flag goes up against Barkeeson, and he made a good run. So that one's going to come back for a free kick. Just having a look now to see if there's a bit of movement on the Barnsley bench. Is there going to be a change here? Benson's coming over, having a word with Michael Duff. I don't think he's injured and going to be coming off. I think he was just having a quick word there. He was hurt a moment ago, and there is a bit of activity on that Barnsley bench. Now Nathaniel Mendez-Lang's going for a warm-up for Derby. Here's Kitchen. Kitchen plays it long. Can Cole get in behind here? It's headed back to the keeper, and for a minute there it looked dangerous as Cashin glanced that one back to Wildsmith, but keeper just getting there ahead of Cole. Now Derby switch it over to the left. Game a bit more open all of a sudden. Barkeeson cuts into the box. Can pull this one back. Gets a block into the Barnsley defenders. As another one's gone down there. Seems to be okay. Or is he? No. There is another Barnsley defender down. Punched over.
Jordan Williams, he's okay.
That seems to be okay. But a corner it is, Derek. After that long bursting run there by Barkeeson.
Yeah, he's certainly taken his time to go and take the corner kick. He wouldn't have thought they'd started wasting time this early. What have we had? 58 minutes?
Yep. Here comes the corner from the left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed delivery, chip to the far post. Headed into the air by a Barnsley defender, and the Reds should get the clearance away. Cadden will boot it clear. The rest going to stop play here because Kitchens, I think he's been a clash of heads there. I think that's why he stopped the play. Barnsley should get the possession back and be able to clear this. It's interesting, really, that we had the World Cup and they were adding on 10 minutes here, 12 minutes there, and you kind of think, is that going to translate? It hasn't really translated. You're still seeing the typical 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes maybe in English football.
I have to say the game was stopped for a long time with Tom Edwards' injury in the first half there. Yeah, didn't seem to play too much past the 45 minutes.
Nope. I wonder if that'll change next year as the ball comes into the box. Here's a chance. Oh, it's lovely defending from Williams there to get a touch on that one. Just as the Derby player was preparing to pull the trigger, Barnsley have defended that very well. Scrambled away by Wolf here. Barnsley are going to make another change in a moment. I think it's Adam Phillips who's coming on. Ball rolled in low to the edge of the box, touched off here towards this near side. And Sibley gets his cross in, dangerous ball again when well defended by Barnsley, who are answering the questions that Derby are posing at the moment, but danger still not fully clear here as Barkisen turns. Oh, he's hammered it in. That's a lovely finish by Barkisen. It just broke to him on the edge of the box, and in a split second he turned and he hammers it past Jack Walton. And it appears that Derby are heading for round 4. Derby County 2, Barnsley 0.
Well, you'd have to say that Barnsley should have defended that far better. To let the guy Barkisen sort of get on the ball, just move it to one side, get his shot in without a challenge going in. Players standing, watching the action. Michael Duff's not going to be happy with that one. And we are going to see a couple of players. So looks like James. Oh, sorry, I thought James Norwood was coming off. It's Devante Cole coming off, and we've got the numbers there. I'm just
Josh Martin's coming on, and Adam Phillips for Devante Cole and Luca Connell. So a double change for the Reds. Yeah, it was sloppy, wasn't it? And you could see Michael Duff was very frustrated once the ball had hit the back of the net. But equally, this is, Barkisen's a player who shouldn't be in League One, really, and he's turned very well there, Derek.
All the more reason why you've got to close him down very quickly and make sure he doesn't get sight of goal and have the room to get the shot in without being challenged. Just felt the Barnsley defence was static there, and weren't able to get close enough to the danger men in the Derby team.
It'll frustrate Duff, because I think he will feel that this was a contest to come and try and win, and they've had little flashes, haven't they, Barnsley, but they haven't been able to capitalise on that great start that they had. They haven't been able to create chances since then, and it's going to be some comeback now with under half an hour to go, and Derby leading 2-0. BBC Radio Sheffield. Still 1-0 to Swansea at Bristol City. Well, Barnsley started the game with 3 shots in the first 10 minutes. They've only had 1 since then.
Yeah, I mean, the attacking threat is pretty much dried up, hasn't it? We haven't seen anything in this second half so far as well. That might have worried Derby. Derby still got control most of the time, possession of the ball. Got that second goal as well, which...
given away here by Cadden. Derby looking for more. Cadden recovers, concedes a corner over on that right-hand side. The third goal here would be curtains.
Yeah, well, 2, as it looks at the moment, the way Barnsley are playing at the moment, it looks as though 2 will be enough. We've got to get into their half and create some chances to even start worrying them.
Here comes the corner from the right. It's going to be left-footed delivery. In swinger into the near post. It's a shocking corner that Barnsley clear. A turn here from Josh Martin, who's just come on, but Derby win it back very quickly and can keep the pressure on. So the cross is going to come in. A bit better this time, but dealt with again by the Reds. Kitchen passes this one over towards the left. Here's Kane. Kane retreating, finds Kitchen. Kane still deep in his half. All he can do is hit this one long, headed away by Derby, who are in complete control of this football match. And knocking it around now, and could be a long last 25 minutes this for Barnsley. Ball chipped over the top, runs through to Walton, catches it, balls it out towards Williams. Barnsley will chip it over towards the left. Headed clear. Collected by Barkisen. Barkisen will hold on to it. Now here's Hourihane. On that right-hand side. Derby just toying with Barnsley at the minute, just knocking it from side to side, and a bit of a lazy tackle from Devontae Cole there, who's on a yellow card. Sibley made the wrong choice in trying to nudge that one down the line and has given it away. Now Cole can get on this here and try and have an impact. He cuts in from the right, flicks it through looking for Norwood, and he can't get on the end of it. It's read by Forsyth, and Derby will collect possession again, and it was spread over towards that right flank, and opportunity for Jake Rooney to get on the ball. Slipped all the way back to Forsyth, and it's just not clicking at the minute.
Times it's looking like a training session, isn't it, in this half for Derby? Just knocking it about at the back, pushing it into midfield. Barnsley just managing to break it up there and then give possession away again themselves, straight back to Derby.
Yeah, that's the frustrating. There's been a couple of times where Derby have just gifted the ball to Barnsley, and Barnsley have just said, here, have it back. Not been able to capitalise on those mistakes. Here's Hourihane, former Red, of course. Much loved during his time at Barnsley. Ball into the box, cleared away by the Reds. Hourihane again. Over towards that right flank. Nice little turn from Rooney. Slips it down the line, but just going to have to play for a throw in there. Derby fans frustrated. Not quite sure why. It looked as if it had gone out. I think the free kick's been given. Is it for an offside? I'm not quite sure what the free kick's been given for there, but it is going to be a free kick to Barnsley deep inside their own half. Hit up towards Norwood. Cleared away. Miscontrolled by Phillips, and refs away play on there, which is a bit of a surprise. Derby come away with possession anyway, and now Dobbin again on this near side. Will take his time, look up, slip this one back. Dobbin on loan from Everton, and well regarded there. Touched off as he collects on this left flank. Sibley, well pressed by Devontae Cole. But Derby hold on to possession, and Cashin will have it on the edge of the box. Forsyth over to the right. Rooney down the line here for Bird. Bird cuts in from the right. Plays it through the middle. No one has tracked the run of Jason Knight. And it took Benson coming across to get a block in there. Really did open up for Derby again. Derby take the time. Cross comes in. Doesn't beat the first man though. Barnsley can clear on this occasion, but they're just really struggling to get on the ball now. That was a lovely bit of skill over on the far side by Rooney, and you can hear the Derby fans chanting his name for that bit of skill. Jake Rooney. Cashin. Forsyth. Look at this, just Derby just playing it, toying with it. There's a foul there by Kane. Ref's going to get a yellow card out here. Who for? He's kind of just shown it in between a group of three players, so I'm not sure which players got booked there, Derek. Couldn't tell whether it was Barkisen for Derby or one of the two Barnsley players who were next to him. Either way, Collins is down and hurt. Well, no other player's been booked, that's for sure. Ref blows his whistle for the free kick. 67 gone. Derby 2-0 up. Yesterday we saw Rotherham United eliminated from the FA Cup, losing to Ipswich 4-1. Owls and Blades through. Chesterfield going to a replay with West Brom after a fantastic performance from them at the Technique. Doncaster already out. Now we're going to see a free kick to Barnsley, and the ref's going to decide that you can have a card, you can have a card, and you can have a card now.
Sibley booked for that challenge on Jordan Williams, and he did well, Jordan Williams there. Intercepted the ball just on the halfway line. Derby trying to build an attack, set off running with a bit of pace towards the the Derby penalty area, brought down. You know, but that's what we need. We need someone to get hold of the ball, take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Ball played in low towards Norwood, who shoots straight at the keeper. Really, that's about as close as Barnsley have come for some time in this game, but if they were to get one now, it would set up a close finish, would give it a bit of interest back into the game here from a Barnsley point of view. But that was never likely to beat Wildsmith, was it, Derek?
No, I mean, Norwood on the angle there, decent ball into him, but couldn't get the power, and certainly, you know, with it being a tight angle, comfortable save for Wildsmith. But yeah, goal from Barnsley, if we can get one, would obviously unsettle the home side and give Barnsley a lift. I'm just not sure where it's going to come from.
Nathaniel Mendez-Lang is about to come on here. Player well known to South Yorkshire football fans. He had a loan spell at Sheffield United, then he was with Sheffield Wednesday last season. Ball belted over towards the far side by Derby. Rooney will control. Even though Derby have had their transfer embargo in terms of being able to sign players permanently since the start of the season, you can see it still hasn't stopped them making some experienced signings. Nathaniel Mendez-Lang on the bench today. Now here's a good run from Martin, gets to the edge of the box, slips over but still manages to find a teammate. Ball onto the left hand side. This is interesting for Barnsley. Crossed in but scrambled away by Derby. Controlled by Kitchen here, but he's missed control, and that's a good first touch by the Derby man on the far side, and perhaps a chance to go on the outside and create a third goal, but good recovery from the Barnsley defender on the far side. Reds get back and will have a chance to move it forward once more. Well, it just opened up for Barnsley a second ago with that Martin run. The cross blocked and cleared. Here come the Reds again. Benson's cross into Norwood. Tried to head it down. It was quite a low cross in the end. He tried to head towards goal, but getting a little bit closer. Asking a few more questions here as Derby then go down the other end and try and counter-attack, but Barnsley win it back, and this is a bit better, Derek.
Yeah, suddenly a bit more urgency in the Barnsley team, getting players forward. Decent ball into the box there. Norwood just couldn't get good contact on the ball, but Barnsley just got a bit of possession. As I say, a goal could change the whole picture.
Fans trying to do their bit on the far side with a chance of come on Barnsley. Trying to encourage the Reds on here to get a goal that will just make things interesting. Here's Martin to Phillips. Cundy all the way back, good pressing from Derby and Jason Knight. Chested down here by Phillips for Barnsley, kicks it high into the air. Headed on by the Reds. Martin again controls nicely. Great ball in behind, but just intercepted by Cashin, who was able to clear, get that one down the line. Williams is there, takes a touch, finds Benson. Benson miscontrolled initially and then loses possession. Derby very happy, and we saw this in the first half, to go back into the defence and try and control the game, and I wonder if we'll see them resort to that again now that Barnsley have had a bit of the pressure. Derby have had 60% of the ball in this match after a start where that was reversed. It was Barnsley who had most of the possession early on. So the Derby goal scorer, the second goal is coming off. Barkesen's coming off. Mendez-Lang comes on. Well, with the ability to bring players on like Mendez-Lang in a situation like this, it speaks to the, as I said, the sort of the depth that Derby have got, really, and certainly expect that Barnsley, given what they've shown so far this season, Derek, are going to be very much in that playoff race in League One. One of the teams, if they get there, perhaps the team that they're going to have to beat to win promotion will probably be Derby, won't it?
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm just watching this Derby build-up down the left here again. They've got full control. Good ball into the box.
It's going to be cleared away. Well, Cadden was going to clear it away, but he's blasted it off the Derby defender behind.
Well defended by Kitchen, actually, on that occasion. But yeah, Derby are going to be right up there. You feel that as a club they shouldn't be in this league. suffered of some financial distress, I think, over the last couple of seasons, but
got experience, haven't they? They've got a
Yeah.
manager who has obviously won promotion from this division 3 times at Rotherham. This one booted forward, and Collins could be in here. Collins could be in. It's kicked away at the last minute by Barnsley. We're going to see another change for the Reds in a second. We're going to see Jack Aitchison come on for James Norwood. That is going to be the change. You can hear Michael Duff scream. That's his voice you can hear in the background there. He's not giving up just yet. It's big on performance and getting a good performance, even if the result isn't necessarily going to go your way. Don't think he'll be that satisfied with what he's seen so far today, but there's still time to turn this around for the Reds. They've got 15 minutes. It's 2-0 to Derby. They can just get one. Here is Benson. Benson back to Williams. Williams into Cole. Cole, nice little move from Devontae Cole. Gets past one. Shifts it over towards that left-hand side. And then the ball down the line. Kitchen was making a run there, but it's never going to be found. And goes behind for the goal kick. And now we will see that change confirmed. Aitchison comes on. And Norwood comes off Derek Parker.
yeah, well, chance for Aitchison to make a name for himself if he can do something in these last 15 minutes that we've got. Could just nick a goal and change the course of the game. Barnsley just, they are getting a bit more of possession. Just the final ball generally is not good enough.
It's going to be a goal kick for Derby, which Wildsmith will put down. Ball long from Wildsmith, headed on here by Jason Knight. Cleared by the Reds, up towards Martin, headed into the air by Cashin. Mendes Lang. Going to try and get away from his man there, but it's going to go out of play for a throw-in. It's going to be a Derby ball. Mendes Lang will leave it for Sibley, the number 17. Sibley will just take his time with this one. Derby coming into this game run a terrific run. Unbeaten in it for a long period of time. Their only defeat had come actually against Liverpool in the League Cup on penalties, which shows how much improvement they've made from the start of the season. His Kitchen will go backwards. Ball down the line, kicked away by the Rams. Forward again by the Reds. Now Cole. Cole, good control. Gets it out of his feet here, moves it down that left-hand side. We're going to see a double change for Derby in a minute. This one flicked forward, it's come off a Ram's head and cleared away towards Barnes' defence. Going to see Conor Hourihans coming off in a second for Derby. We've only got 6 players on the bench for this game. You can have 9 named subs. Derby have only named 6. As this ball is worked over towards this near side, a long-ranging pass. And too much for Benson to do to keep that in. So we're going to see Hourihan come off, and it's going to be Liam Thompson coming on. So the former Barnsley man exits.
Replaced by number 16, Liam Thompson.
New high fives for Conor Hourihans as he walks off against his old club. And then the other man who's coming on is Hayden Roberts, wearing number 15. He's going to come on for Lewis Dobbin. So Dobbin off and Roberts on.
Replaced by 15, Hayden Roberts. Substitutions brought to you by Dunwich Stuart.
So applause for the 2 players coming off. 5 from Paul Warren towards Lewis Dobbin. Hayden Roberts' first act is to throw this ball forward. He's got quite the little goatee beard as Hayden Roberts as he throws that one up. Belted away by Liam Thompson for his first touch. And that one will just run straight through towards Walton. 11 minutes to go. BBC Radio Sheffield given away here by Barnsley. Mendes-Lang's going to be through. It's got to be 3. Oh, good save from the keeper. Danger still not clear. Mendes-Lang across. And there is Jason Knight to finish things off. Derby get a third. Catalogue of errors at the back from Barnsley. And it is the Rams who are through to round 4 of the FA Cup. Barnsley will exit in round 3. It is Derby 3, Barnsley 0.
Yeah, as you've just said there, mistakes at the back, and should have scored with the first chance, but the ball come back to Knight, and basically could hardly miss from there. 3-0. You have to say Derby have been the better team, apart from the first 10 minutes when Barnsley looked so good, and then they've just let that slip and aren't able to keep possession. Derby taking their chances when they do get a chance. They're putting in the back of the net, and Barnsley, I have to say, in this second half have not really threatened at all, have they? They've
no,
not contained the home side. Well, haven't been able to string passes together, haven't been able to find Cole and Norwood with any kind of decent service. What looked so promising in those first 10 minutes has just faded away.
Yeah, it looks so promising as well in that first 10, and this is better from Barnsley now. Quick exchange of passes in the Derby half, cross comes in, but I think that's been one of the issues. The final ball, they've got into some decent areas, and the cross has kind of just been chucked in there with a bit of hope, and maybe give Derby a bit of credit for being the ones to get on the end of some of those crosses in, but maybe perhaps the service hasn't been that great either. Either way.
And some of the Barnsley fans were making their way out of the ground there. They've seen enough.
One of the Barnsley fans has decided he's feeling pretty confident and is goading the Derby fans to bring it on. So he's being ushered down the tunnel by the stewards. Well, a day to forget really for the Reds, and they'll have to bounce back from this, and if it stays this way it'll be consecutive 3-0 defeats. This is a very different game obviously to the Bolton game because of that red card influencing so much of that match. But they don't want to let a good position and situation slip. Let this drag on into other games. They'll need a response in the next one. As the Derby fans celebrate with the 3-0 lead, and they're looking for more as the cross comes in. It's blocked off by Barnsley. It's going to be cleared forward. Straight out of play for a throw-in though. Oh, they've just looked a little bit out of ideas at times today, Barnsley. Like they haven't been able to create much. It's a difficult game next up for the Reds. Charlton away, who seems to have just picked up a little bit under Dean Holden, who's just gone there. They've kind of just got to stop the rot a little bit now, Derek. As you mentioned, there's not much they could do about the Bolton game, but I suppose it's, when you look at it, it is still 2 at the moment. It's a 3-0 defeat followed by a 3-0 defeat as Derby go for a 4th now with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, a 3rd defeat here within 12 months as well. You take last season into account and the early game in this season, August, in the heat. It's not a happy hunting ground for the Reds.
Perhaps if they are to meet in the playoffs, Barnsley could do with somebody else knocking Derby out in the semi-finals. Not having to meet them. A bit of a bogey team for the Reds recently. Here's Hayden Roberts. Good ball down the line, looking for the run of the number 17, Lewis Sibley. Goes behind, the rain's coming down again, just in time for Derek and I to head back to the car park. And for the Barnsley fans to do the same. Time that well. We'll see that double change for Derby in a second. We're going to see Curtis Davis, the veteran defender, come on. And Richard Stearman, who himself is a veteran defender. We'll slip back into the Barnsley half. It really is coming down again, the rain. It's been an odd day for the weather, because it has been bright for a decent part of the game as well. It's a bit cloudy. And we've just had bookending the start and the end of the game, this monsoon come down. Paul Warne still encouraging his team on. He wants to come and see a bit more. So Barnsley just flick it over towards that left. Here's Phillips. Phillips has got Benson making a run down the right, but don't use him on this occasion. Now here's Kane. Benson touched off here. Cashin down the line. Tries to find the run of Sibley, who will get there. Cundy recovers well, makes the tackle, but then his pass inside is intercepted by Derby. Here's an opportunity to shoot. Shot is deflected from Liam Thompson, and then a foul by Collins. Means it is going to be a free kick to Barnsley. So here are the final two changes. We're going to see Aaron Cashin coming off for Richard Stearman. Stearman, the former Blade. And we're going to see Curtis Davis come on as well.
Replaced by number 19, Richard Stearman. And for number 3, Craig Forsyth.
And Craig Forsyth is the man who's going to come off for Curtis Davis. So number 3 off, number 33 on.
Replaced by number 33, Curtis Davis.
Curtis Davis very popular around these parts. Surefire way to make yourself feel old that he's now a veteran player. I can well remember him coming through the ranks as a youngster. That increasingly is the case these days. I was thinking actually watching Jake Rooney today, and they were singing the Rooney chant. It won't be that long, Derek, before Wayne Rooney's kids are playing. I can remember he was a 16-year-old breaking through at Everton. It feels like yesterday that.
Yeah, what a breakthrough it was as well. Still remember the goal against Arsenal. David Seaman. Yeah.
Wow,
left clutching thin air as it went into the top corner. And what a career he went on to have.
And all the buzz around him at that point as well, and you're thinking, here we go, we've got a big star player, and he's retired now. If you'd have said, just imagine when he's retired back then. Talking ancient history now, really. Such a long time ago, as this one's moved over towards the left. Intercepted by Derby and Rooney, and here is that Rooney chant as he's urged forward, slips it through. Ball's going to be crossed in by Thompson. It's going to come off a Barnsley man behind for a corner. Derby fans eager to see a fourth. Get a sense that the Barnsley players would quite like to get on the bus, get back to Barnsley now. Bristol City 1, Swansea 1. At least there's that bridge that gets you from Bristol to Swansea quite easily. That replay that's forthcoming. That's the kind of tie you don't really want. Not a Bristol or a Swansea, Derek. It's not interesting enough to get excited about. But if it goes to a replay and you have to travel all the way down there on a weeknight,
it's a trek, isn't it?
Cross comes in to the far post. Curtis Davis heads it into the air, then falls flat on his face as he tries to go and get the ball. The Derby fans see the funny side of it. He's actually done well to get a cross in after falling flat on his face, which means that Derby can keep the pressure on. Here is Roberts, loses out. Barnsley have it. Kane clears, but all Kane can do is boot it up towards halfway. Derby get in possession. The other games have kicked off in the FA Cup, the 2 o'clocks. Cardiff 0, Leeds 0. Hartlepool 0, Stoke 1. An own goal has given Stoke the lead there. Norwich 0, Blackburn 0, and Stockport 0, Walsall 0 tonight, or this evening, afternoon. Villa against Stevenage is a 4:30. Steve Evans just signing a new contract with Stevenage for 2 more years. Having a good season there. And Manchester City against Chelsea is also a 4:30 kickoff. All out to play for a throw. 2 minutes to go. We're off air at 2:30. Well, if you want to have your say on this game, give us a bell tomorrow night between 6 and 7 o'clock. Get that number saved in your phone, 0800 111 49 49. Give us a thought on this. Anything else you want to discuss as we reflect on the FA Cup weekend. Ball thrown backwards to Curtis Davis, who's got the white paints from the other penalty area all down his shorts now after he fell over. Ball kicked in short here by Wildsmith. Derby just happy to go through the motions a little bit now. Maybe they'll settle for 3. And The Barnsley fans and ourselves might settle for the rain easing here. The game being called to a halt with no further injuries. With Tom Edwards off with a nasty-looking injury in the first half, which we'll ask Michael Duff about. Get his thoughts on the penalty decision as well. That was a big moment, wasn't it, Derek? It's right before half-time. There wasn't really anything happening in the first half after that good start from Barnsley. Yeah, Derby got a bit more control in the game, but it was hardly...
Yeah, but there wasn't too much between the teams at that time. And then the penalty comes around, we lose Edwards, and, we're going, a goal down. You think, well, chance to come back into it in the second half. But, yeah, to be fair, Barnsley have been poor in the second half. Very little possession, giving the ball away too easy when they have got possession.
Here's a chance there for one back. Oh, it's not taken though.
Yeah, skied over the bar.
And Josh Martin, Derek, and that was a chance.
Yeah, it was a chance on his left foot just outside the penalty area. Skied it. But we haven't seen much of even that in this second half. A shot at goal, albeit that one being off target. But Derby certainly raised their game from what we saw in the first half of the match, particularly the first 10 minutes. And the hard thing to bear is that they've looked a class above Barnsley in the second half.
Yeah, and it is a relatively strong Barnsley team. No Mads Anderson suspended, of course, and a changing goal. But apart from that, the same team that lined up against Bolton, and they'll be looking for a reaction against Charlton. Here's Mendes Lang. 3 minutes of stoppage time to come at the end of the game, which we are now into that stoppage time, as the ball is hit long down the middle here, straight through to Joe Wildsmith, who's doing keepy-uppies. Gets a cheer from the home fans, many of the Barnsley fans heading for the exits. Derby, trip to Derby, not the longest trip by any stretch. Might as well get a head start on that journey back if you can. 3-0 to Derby. FA Cup. Barnsley's FA Cup run will end here today. Derby will go into the hat with Wednesday United and Chesterfield, who are going to play a replay with West Brom at the Hawthorns. Good football here from Derby, and it's worked round the corner to Bird. Bird gets into a good position. He's just judged to have fouled his man, those who was getting there. That'll be a free kick to the Reds. What's the key then to bounce back from a day like this, Derek, and ensure that trip to Charlton next week is a happier time for Barnsley?
Well, I think they've got to start believing in themselves again. They've had two poor results now. Of course, the game against Bolton, and now out of the cup. Those days of saying we can concentrate on the league now are gone. You've got to perform in every game and go as far as you can in the league and in the cup. And after such a good run as well, there was 7 games, 6 wins, 1 draw. Now we've got 2 pretty heavy defeats. It's just getting that bit of confidence back and believing in themselves. And of course, the manager will have a lot to do with that. And as I said earlier, what he's been getting out of these players this season, I think he's getting very close to 100% out of all of them. It just hasn't happened today, and it looked as though it was going to happen early on. There certainly did look a good outfit in those first 10 minutes, but once Derby got back into the game and then took the lead, Barnsley have had nothing to show after that.
Well, Barnsley's game against Sheffield Wednesday on the 29th of January will be rearranged with Wednesday's continued involvement in the FA Cup. So Barnsley have got a few games: Charlton away, then Accrington at home, then a long trip to Exeter follows that one. Ball chips down the line here. Barnsley will give a run in vain, but we're almost at the end of the 3 minutes of stoppage time. Barnsley heading for defeat. One final blast of the drum, the Derby drum. They will march on into the 4th round. There's the final whistle. So a Collins penalty, and then goals from Barkhuizen and Knight. The last one in particular, I think, will frustrate Michael Duff, although a bit unhappy with the nature of both goals in this second half, which was a poor second half from the Reds, who lost Tom Edwards to a nasty looking injury in the first half, handball penalty, giving Collins the chance to open the scoring in first half stoppage time. What a disappointing afternoon. It is the Derby players and staff who are celebrating on the pitch. Michael Duff shakes hands with the referees. But a disappointing afternoon for Barnsley, Derek, in the rain here at Derby.
Yeah, very disappointing. You know, to say that they're so close at the top of League One, the two clubs, Barnsley, you know, have looked a league below Derby particularly during this second half. They weren't able to build on the bright start that they had, where they created a couple of chances and could have easily gone a goal up. And okay, you're going to go behind with a penalty there just before half time, but you've got to be able to come back from that, and they didn't. You know, Derby, you know, have just been so far on top of Barnsley in this second half. They may well have had 4 or 5, never mind, you know, taking it to 3-0. Barnsley just couldn't fashion any chances. They couldn't really build any sustained attacks in the second half. Couldn't put the home side under any real kind of pressure. At times they were playing at walking pace, Derby County today, almost like a practice match at the end, and that's not what we have seen from Barnsley in recent weeks. You know, with them results, they've fought hard to get back into the top 6, into a playoff spot, but yeah, today they looked downhearted in the second half, as if they just didn't have the fight in them to get back in the game. And Derby, I have to say, just about strolled through it in the end.
It goes to show, doesn't it, Derek, again, that you kind of have to strike while the iron's hot, don't you? And if Barnsley get a goal early on when they're on top, this could have been a very different game today.
Yeah. But you've got to capitalise when you're on top as well. You know, you've got to take your chances when they come along. We had a couple of half chances, should we say. They didn't go in, but okay, you get on, you keep going. Yeah, the opposition are always going to have some possession and put you under pressure, but you've got to resist that and be ready for it and then come back again. And we haven't seen that. The opposition came back into it, they got a goal. Barnsley couldn't resist anymore. They've got another 2 goals, and they looked a poor side at the end of this game. I think Michael Duff will have 1 or 2 harsh words to say, and non-existent up front in the second half as well. You know, we really didn't put that defence under any kind of pressure at all. Goalkeeper could have brewed himself a cup of tea in the second half, Miles Smith.
Well, Paul Warner's definitely enjoyed himself at the end there. He whipped off his bobble hat and bowed to the Derby fans who were chanting his name. He seems to be settling in well here. And they are going to be a threat, Derby County, and perhaps there's not enough of the season left for Derby to catch up with Plymouth and Ipswich and Sheffield Wednesday, but you would definitely see them being a real threat in the playoffs, and maybe we'll be back here later in the season for a playoff semi-final. Who knows? Could definitely be a distinct possibility. It's finished Derby 3, Barnsley 0, just to keep you up to date with everything elsewhere.